You are watching Access LaPorte County Channel 97. Coming up next is the November 6th meeting of the Michigan City Port Authority Commission. You can find more information for this meeting at www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Good evening. Welcome to the Michigan City Port Authority Board of Directors meeting. I call the meeting to order. And I'm looking for approval or corrections of October 16th meeting minutes.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Freeze, do you have anything to say today?
Nothing right now.
Well, nice to have you here.
Thank you.
Reports from the Harbor Master.
All right, since last time I met with representatives from General Insurance. We talked about the preliminary policy. They expect to be at our next meeting to present next year's insurance policy. It didn't sound like there's anything major different with it, but they're going to try to be here at our next meeting. We still have 8 boats in the marina. One is a looper. He's running a little behind the others, so he's leaving tomorrow. A couple of the boats, I think 3 are waiting on B&E, and a couple I think are waiting on us, and that'll take care of that. Last week, the railroad bridge was down for a couple days, and that threw everybody out of whack a little bit. We expect to be finishing winterizing the haul-out boats this week and fill in the building. And we've already started putting up lights for the Festival of Lights, and we've started dismantling stuff in the marina. The water's all blown out, all that. So we're moving into winter. And unless anybody has any questions, that's all I have.
I saw that the benches on the east breakwater were moved from the back to the forward, some of them. That's cool.
Well, we did some sand work out there, and the park also ran through with their loader.
Yes, we saw that. That was good.
Yeah.
You're thinking about moving them back in the spring?
Yeah, right, if not sooner.
That's good.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was appreciated to see that they were not buried in sand at this time of the year.
Right.
Anybody else? No, Ms. Pilicki is neither here this evening, so we'll go right to budget, financial oversight, reviews, and approval of the bills.
Thank you. I have 3 things to go over. We'll do them as expeditiously as we can. Let's go ahead and take care of the bills first of all. We have 2 sheets of paper. We have a summary and then some details. On the summary, I believe that top line that says Water Department for $36.20. I believe that's probably lawn service. It's the next line down on the detail. But either way, it's for $3,620. As you can see, the major items there are the lawn service / Water Department. Huber Marine for a deposit on a new motor for our smaller work barge. The old one is pretty well shot. Security there, NIPSCO, and fuel. That totals 41 of the 46,000 on our total bill, and there are a couple others. I think you can pick them out. The credit card charges for $1,500 for the detail. Then there's a Marquis electric bill of $11,000 and change. If anybody has questions on that, I'll refer you to Tim. But other than that, I'll make a motion that we accept to pay our bills at $46,184.44.
Second.
Any questions?
Yeah, Tim, what is the total cost of that motor? I see we got a deposit for it.
Well, just double that.
It's double that, so
Yeah.
that's half of the cost of it? Wow.
Yep.
Okay, thanks.
What size motor is that?
50 horse Honda four cycle. It's the same as what we had on there before.
Okay.
Anything? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Pay your bills. Next thing.
Okay, as part of the budget process, actually I have 4 things to go over to include the bills. As part of the budgeting process, for next year, we sent out to everyone the proposed plan for next year, which totals a little over $3 million. And there was a lot of input to that. And it kind of came down to the wire, and then we extended the wire a while. So that's why we've elected to send it out and prepare questions that you might have so that we could hopefully pass that budget tonight. I don't think that will be a problem. We don't normally do that, and it's understandable if you, for some reason, want to hold off. But the administration would like to go forward with it. So I'll just give you a very quick summary. The difference in the plan mainly is about $150,000, and that equates to the slip rental increases, plus the service charges we do. That's roughly $145,000, another $10,000, so roughly $150,000, and that's shown on the front pages.
Do you have some extras of those? Did you have any extras of those? Or is
No,
that
I do not.
No worries.
I'm sorry.
You're fine.
I thought Mary Ann was going to be here until later on.
No worries.
I just don't have one.
I got the email right here. I'll follow.
Okay. So that's, in summary, that's where we are. There have been a lot of adjustments between, Peter and Pay Paul, which is things we normally do all the time. But I really don't know all of those items, because I was assuming that perhaps Mary Ann would be here and she could list some of those major changes that we had internally, but I don't have those. I'm rather to try to go into a bunch more detail that's somewhat irrelevant. I think I would just say that big change is the $155,000 between the plan for both. And it's, as I say, it's the revenue that we've already talked about and passed. So with that being said, I'd like to make a motion that we pass the 2024 plan for revenue and expenses as we sent out to you last week.
I'll second it.
Any questions? The reality is it's going to be more expensive again next year. So we got to keep our eye on it.
Yeah, the major thing is there's nothing really major on here that we don't already know. And the fact of the matter is that anytime we want to move money around, we can do that.
Right.
This isn't set in stone
No.
throughout the year. So we can always move money. So
Exactly.
I don't see a problem with it.
More guide.
It was surprising seeing how much some of the expenses have gone up. So it's really good that we did do that increase, because it's only going to get more expensive, and I'm going to be scared to see how much the bill increase is going to be.
Well, we did see a nice increase for the CD money.
Yeah.
That was a nice plus. So, but if no one else has any other questions, all in favor?
Aye.
We have a budget.
All right, in association with passing that budget, I honestly should have done the salary order first, so we could make corrections if we have to. But the salary order for next year is similar to what we have this year, pay-wise, except we've already, I believe, we've either talked or have already significantly discussed 4% increase across the board for everybody. I think we did, but anyway, that has been built into the plan already. And I apologize for not asking for your formal approval on that ahead of doing the budget. But the cost of living been around 3.1% in that general area. It's been up and down a little bit the last several months. And that only gives like a 1% positive increase in payroll for people. So with that being said, I'd like to get formal, I'd like to offer for formal approval, a motion to approve a 4% increase, across the board increase for everyone.
Second.
Any questions, any input? All,
Is that for full-time personnel only?
Everyone,
Everyone? Summer help? Summer help? Or is that-
summer help, but not for us. Not for you and I.
But it's good for the summer help to get them coming back and having them be here for those popular months.
I think that's worthy of being brought up time and time again, just to let the staff know we're all concerned and have been happier this year that we've had more people.
Yes.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, the last,
Nay.
pardon me?
One day. One day.
The last thing I have is that we have CDs that are maturing, 2 of them. And Mary Ann's not here today because of some family concerns. And Tim's been putting together information that she has left for him over the weekend, I guess is the best thing. And I got wind of it this morning in an email from Tim. So I've been looking over the normal stuff that she has done, which quite frankly is not as good as they would do if they had more time to put this together. So I have come up with a recommendation on what to do with a couple CDs that are maturing. They total $400,000, let you know. And I have come up with a list of 3 of these. I'll hold it up to you. I've got it on 2 pages. These are banks that are offering CDs. They're the type of banks that we could use because we could only go through certain kind of securities because of the type of institution we are. Okay, all of these list percentages, payout, when they pay out, monthly, semi-annually, annually, when they, how long, what the maturity times are for these, anywhere from 4 or 5 months all the way to a year. I've looked at all those. I had to do it briefly because I'd been gone most of the day. And I came up with 3 that I'd like to pass on to Tim and the staff to do their normal thing to get them approved. Now, I would really like to have Mary Ann take a look at this. But if we don't get these in the process, we start losing money. And the money we're talking about could be rather significant if we miss a monthly
Dividend.
installment. So I've come up with what I think are 2 good options for the board. First is to do nothing and just wait till the normal process, and Mary Ann coming back, whatever that is, going through the process, probably going through another board meeting, and then deciding what to do. That's going to be at least 2 weeks. If that's what you want, that's what we'll do. The other option is allowing me to present this to Tim, Mary Ann, however they care to do that, to go along with and get the process going. So that's what I'm suggesting for you to talk, so we can talk about. What I will say is, what I've come up with is 3 different plans, 3 different CDs, either 5.4% or 5.45% for either 9 months or 12 months. And the banks, I chose to go with banks that I was familiar with. There's one in Chicago that's offering 2 different rates, 2 different maturity dates, and that bank is BMO Bank of National in Chicago, and the other is Goldman Sachs. All names we're familiar with. And those maturities, as I said, were either 9 months or 12 months. Pretty good interest rate. That interest rate's actually gone up the last month and a half, it had started to go down, that did come in. So, I'd just like to put a quick discussion out there, rather than make a motion yet, I'd like to just ask for your opinion on what you want to do. You want to wait a couple weeks and potentially lose some interest, a couple $1,000s in that area? Or you want me to go ahead with what my research says is a good direction and let the staff run with it as soon as they can? Any thoughts? John?
Yeah,
Where are the CDs maturing from?
You know, I don't know. I don't have that information in front of me. I'm sorry. It is, there are two of them, and one's probably $250,000 and one's 150. I don't have that information.
I think it's probably good information that so they don't automatically expire and roll into the next one.
Well, it doesn't, I don't think it costs much, if anything, to go to a different bank. I'm not
But if
sure.
they expire, they're gonna automatically roll them into.
I understand, but
I don't think they do.
But they don't.
those rates
Without
might,
signature.
yeah, those rates might not be as good as these. I really don't have that information.
What are the, you
So,
don't know the rates of where they are right now?
no, I do not.
Okay.
It would be significantly
Yes,
less than
that's
that,
what we would
and they
need to
are
know.
expiring. And if they're on this list, they're not pointed out.
Yeah, you're probably
Marianne's
about
not here,
3%
she's got
less
some family
Yeah.
than
concerns.
what they were. We're probably about 3% higher now
Yeah, from what they were
from
before.
what they were before.
Yeah.
So I thought we had it like 3.7% before, so I could totally be wrong. But so these are a lot better, and I think we should try to get in at these percents while they're still available in case, you know, the market goes down like there was a couple months ago. I'm comfortable with option 2, you presenting it to Tim and Mary Ann, but that's my opinion.
I pretty much feel that Mr. Frame and Mrs. Pilecki is probably gonna go along with your.
I haven't just,
Yeah.
I haven't, no, I did, I ran it by Tim, but I
Sure, they're
didn't.
gonna go through the same thing, print out the same list and come up with.
Pretty much the
both
same
ones
thing.
and pay the-
So,
Yeah.
so to go forward versus wait,
I think so, yeah, I think they would go along with what you're recommending.
okay.
I do.
All right, well, I'll make that, I'll make a phone check.
I have a question. By tying that money up, all of it, into another CD, excuse me, is that gonna put us in a situation next year, if we have any capital planning and stuff like that, that we wanna do and need the money for, or are we all set, are we set for that?
You mean to take that money out if we need it?
Yeah, well, you can't do that.
No, we still have capital fund money.
That's what I'm saying, how much capital fund money do we have? Do we have enough if, let's say, we come up with some type of major project next year?
Well, we'll have, at the end of this year, it's my understanding, of talking to Mary Ann over the last month and a half as to where we stand now versus what roughly our balance is, that we should have over $1 billion in capital planning.
Oh, well, I'm not worried about that then.
Well, that's not
That's a lot
really
of
what
money.
we want to have, as we want to build this up to do the things that our minds are saying might be a good idea to do down the next several years.
Okay,
But that's for all of us to kick around.
okay.
Now, don't hold me to that billion, because I haven't talked to her about it for a little while, but that's in the area that we should have.
Okay, thank you.
We did roll over $540,000 last February from 2022. We rolled that over to the capital, over and above what we had at the balance of the year. So I know kind of where we are, plus what we'll roll in here in a couple of months. Okay,
Sounds fine, thank you.
okay? Okay, I'll go ahead and make a formal motion that we approve this listing. We've been asked by the people to do this to offer 3, just in case by the time we do anything with it, that maybe one of them has been pulled off the table or something like that. So I've itemized which is my pick, 1, 2, and 3 of these. But I'll make the motion of that we accept the listing of these 2 banks in 3 areas for the $400,000 to be split up appropriately, however they want to do that, and that we do that as expeditiously as possible, going through the staff to do the normal process. Yes.
What are the interest rates now? What are they offering now?
I guess they said 5.45 or 5.4, depending upon which of these three.
Okay.
And that's as high as any of them are. I take that back. There was one here at 5.5. It was a Bank of China. Yeah, I didn't have anything to do with it. I'll say that on camera.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
And that's all I have.
That's all you have. Mr. Haynes, claims and insurance.
I don't have nothing to report.
I don't know if anyone's seen, there was an article out about the Coast Guard station. They're talking down in Congress, they're closing the Coast Guard station. And what a detriment that would be to this lake shore in this area. So I posted Mervan's number and stuff. I suggest anybody you know should call and say, you know, that'd be the craziest thing in the world if that happened here. Those guys they do provide a great service and they seem to always be on point. So I really hate to see Michigan City lose a Coast Guard station. So
Is that official or just?
no, they're just talking, and they had an article as I was talking with it. But obviously, as somebody who's never been on Lake Michigan that understands how it works, you need a Coast Guard station.
Yeah.
Well, they're saying that the Chicago station is more than adequate to take care of us, but I don't agree, I don't agree with that.
No, there's no way they can. Not from here to St. Joe. I mean,
Yeah.
The nearest one going north is Grand Haven, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, there's a big one at Grand Haven, yeah.
I guess South Haven does have a small one. Okay.
But I just want to bring that up, that, you know, if you talk to anybody, the more they talk about it is, you really don't want that to happen. As far as operations personnel, I think everything's running pretty smooth. Everything's coming out okay so far.
No.
So really,
Maybe we could reach out to the Coast Guard station and see what their take on this is.
Mhm.
Maybe they can give us a little bit more information.
yeah, definitely see if we can get some more insight. That's for sure. And definitely don't want to just bypass that. You know, our thoughts are
Knowing
definitely wanna-
the way the government works, so they probably won't tell you anything.
Yeah, that's the other side of it. But if Frank Mervan gets a lot of phone calls, you know, you'll realize it's important to people.
Yeah.
So, other than that, Mr. Messina, Voter Communications Special Events.
I have nothing to report.
All right. Mr. Manor, Master Planning Special Projects Park Play.
Yeah, I didn't get to go to the park board meeting, and I didn't have a master planning and special events projects meeting because I became ill, so I'm gonna reschedule that for next week. That's all I have.
So, yeah, all right. Ms. Buettner, Advertising and Public Relations.
Nothing new to report.
And Mr. Zach Noon, Attorney's Report.
Yeah, nothing new to report.
Yeah, there's nothing on it, no blaze on the donut today. All right, new business, old business, no. Mr. Freeze was here again, that was nice to see you. So with that,
John.
I make a motion we adjourn.
Oh, second. Hey, you can get it on.